I didn't have the strength to hold it in, and everything came spilling out of me, squeezed out by the phantom water. And the white-haired girl in the painting just stared back at me, smiling. I bit down on my lips as hard as I could. A metallic taste spread through my mouth, drops of blood trickling to the floor. Pulling the knife I used to open the monthly deliveries from my waistband, I lifted it high into the air, gathering what remains of my strength. This isn't me, and slashed the woman's face with it. This isn't me, I am not this woman. I'm a man, carved into it. This is not how I look. With everything I had, I don't try to erase who I really am. Don't call me repulsive, don't say I'm an abomination. I tore into that smile, contempt surging from every slash. This woman who isn't real. I wanted to curse the whole damn world. Every last thing. This wretched mirror that had become of my life. My brothers for happily going about their lives as I suffered here in this darkness. My delusional mother for refusing to acknowledge who I was. My father for trying to have me killed. Amy for making me realize I was a man. And then torturing me for coming out about it. Everyone. I didn't care anymore. I wanted everyone who had ever wronged me to suffer the same way I had. I'm gonna guess that's the witch. Hold on. I can make that happen. I can make that happen. Michelle. A voice rang out. I could curse them for you, my dear. It was a woman's voice, muffled like there were several walls between me and her. Who's there? I swiped up my candlestick, thrusting it forwards to the sides behind me, but there was no one else around. Give it a little thought. It's not that difficult. And when you figure it out, come to me. I have been waiting for so long for someone like you. This is Morgana. Someone with such hatred for the world. How am I supposed to know who you are? How could you not, my dear? You visited me so many times. Held me in your arms, whispered poor child into my ears again and again. What? No, that's not possible. I see. I finally truly lost my mind. If that's what you wish to believe, that is your choice. But the way I see it, if you had truly lost your mind, you wouldn't be in so much pain. The voice, still muffled and unclear, seemed to be coming from somewhere far, far away and very close by at the same time. Find your way to me and open the door once more. Let me out of my cage. Give me your hand. I knew in the back of my mind that it was all absurd, but nonetheless I did as the voice had said. I let myself be drawn in by the pleasant whispers. The archangel stood proudly upon his glass perch, looking down at me. His gaze almost seemed judgmental. but I marched for the tower unconcerned. For so long I have been waiting for the day I would be rid of this darkness, for the day someone would truly set me free. When you arrive at this house, I felt the hands of fate at work, that you were led here, that you were meant to come to this place. You've been through so much to get here. I know your pain. I know how it feels to be locked up, to be tortured and used for others' gain. You're the only one to ever have pity for me, and I shall be the only one to have compassion for you. You are the only one to stay at my side, and I shall do the same for you. You can give me life again. You can resurrect me. Now open the door, Michelle. It felt like I was no longer in control of my own body. Her voice was tender in a way unlike Mother's or Amy's. Enticingly so. Standing at the top of the observation tower, I push open a door. And the first thing I saw was the ray of light shining through the window. And nothing else. Thank you for opening the door. It was empty. The skeleton, which had been sitting there as long as I had been at this house, had vanished without a trace. I spun around, my gaze darting back and forth across the chambers, but there was no one there. Only her voice whispering in my ear. You made this possible. You gave me the chance to have my revenge. Now I can make those men suffer a hell worse than the one they put me through. Constant, everlasting despair. Their flesh may turn to dust, but so long as their souls live on, their torture will know no end. Yeah, I'm not doing laughter. Sorry. Okay, I just did it again. The tenderness in her voice crumbled away, leaving only raw loathing behind. She then let out a half-muffled cackle. Who are you? Oh, you poor dear. They locked you up here without telling you whose house it was. You sad, pathetic thing. Though that's exactly the kind of person I needed. You're not the witch, are you? That I am. I am the cursed witch who loathes this puny, wretched world, curses it. And my name is Morgana. Morgana. I assumed the witch was nothing but a legend, a tale. If you don't believe me, I would be happy to show you. Let's see. I could place a curse on someone you have a grudge against. Drag them down into the dark abyss. You are the one who guaranteed me freedom after all. Sympathized with me. Pitied me. Appreciated me. You happily embraced my filthy corpse. And for that I will grant you your wish. Wishes can come true, Michelle. Much the same way I was able to come back to life. If you remain steadfast in your desires, they will become reality. For devotion and yearning are the fountains from which miracles spring. I cannot leave the mansion grounds, but that is but a minor inconvenience. Tell me who you wish to curse. and I can lead them here. I can force the cross you were made to bear onto them. I believe in my power to perform miracles because you made my miracle a reality. So tell me, my dear, who will be the first? Your second brother who made that ridiculous painting, George. Shall we kill him? He deserves at least that. He brought you more than enough pain. But if you would rather, you could curse your mother instead. Or the woman who set you on this path. Or perhaps you would prefer your father. With him gone, you could return home. Ask and I will perform a miracle for you. I didn't think she was lying either. As ridiculous as the whole affair sounded, the skeleton had disappeared from the tower, and I was hearing a disembodied voice. But beyond that, the voice seemed to have a sort of magnetism to it. If magic truly did exist in the world, then her words were laced with it. There was a power in her voice, something that had repelled any instinct I might have to doubt the things she said. So I, on the verge of losing my grasp on reason altogether, believed every word the witch said. I wanted to curse them. To curse my brothers, mother, father, and Amy. And the witch was saying I could do precisely that. What will it be, my dear? There is no price. I don't require a sacrifice or a dark ritual to perform my magic. I simply wish to show my gratitude. I want you to have that which you desire. Who do you want to curse? The witch's sweet whispers hung in the air for a brief moment before wisping away. All the muscles in my body tensed up. I felt woozy, like the floor was wobbling beneath me. It took everything I had not to fall over. Who did I want to curse? Oh, and you are welcome to choose more than one. All of them, even. Please tell me I'm recording this. Yeah, I'm recording this. Okay. I could curse them, and the witch would kill my family. I would be free. No one would know I had been born female. Why don't you become a new head of the estate? Who would I curse? Who would I kill? Diddler, George, mother, father, Amy, all of them. They had exiled me to this place. Have your revenge. A black butterfly fluttered across the room's single shaft of light. As I stared absently up at it, dozens of memories, of emotions, flashed through my mind. But at the end of the day, we're family. We could get past anything. With enough time. Everything will go back to the way it was before. Just like it did for myself and George. I don't understand. Why would I think about them now? They abandoned me, left me in that room for 2 years, and then left me here for 8 more. They don't care whether I'm alive or dead. So why should I? Why should I? Hey, we finally got a card. Have you made up your mind? I have. Then tell me, my dear, who would it be? Who will you curse? No one. I cannot curse anyone, Morgana. Surely you jest. I know just how much you wish to see them dead. I felt all your hatred, your despair. And you mean to tell me you can't curse them? It struck me just now that I can't do that to family. I cannot curse my own family. This is the family that cast you aside, labeled you cursed, made you suffer for years, and then locked you away in this remote mansion. And they don't feel even the slightest bit of remorse about it. Slightest bit remorseful about any of it. I understand that. I know that they don't give the same weight to their words as I do. I figured that out long ago. I know I'm alone in my prayers, that they don't want the same things I do. That I trust them more than they ever deserved. So why, then, can you not curse them? Because I don't want to hate them. I don't want to bring them suffering. On the contrary, I want them to be happy. You have no place in that happiness, though. It is a happiness that rests upon your misfortune. Why then should you not drag them down so you can find respite for yourself? I would find no respite by cursing them. How can you be so sure of that, my dear? I most certainly found a great deal of it myself. You're saying to follow your conscience, I can see that, but that good is superficial, and all it does is shackle you. Remove the shackles and everything will be so much easier. Nothing you say can convince me to kill my family. Why not someone who isn't family then? Surely you can think of at least one person you would like to see dead. Oh, I most certainly can. I could kill her a dozen times and it wouldn't be enough. But just because I would be happy with her death, that doesn't mean there aren't people who would be sad to lose her. Remove any one person from that group and the whole thing could come crashing down. All because I couldn't restrain my own hatred. Your concern for them will devour you. Don't think I'm not aware of that. You aren't. You don't know that at all. The only reason you give them any consideration is because deep down you still have hope. But hope has a way of forsaking those who give it a home. You have a problem and you need to take care of it before it kills you. You and I, we were cut from the same cloth. Well, you may still care for your family now. In time you will come to curse them. Consider that a warning, Michelle. Your hatred, your curse, is what brought me back to life. And there is no getting around that. We do have plenty of time, though. No need to rush to a decision. I'll show you what it is you truly desire deep, deep down. And I'll show you again and again until you finally acknowledge it. The black butterfly hovering by the window disappeared. and the witch's voice grew distant. Overwhelmed, I collapsed to the floor unconscious. Had I really said what I did out of love for my family? Or was I just afraid of crossing that line? Was Morgana right? Was my heart now home to a terrible monster? If I actually had resurrected the witch with my hatred, maybe that was what I was now. Darkness seeped down over me once more. I was again encased in a pool of despair. Slowly, ever so slowly, it wore away at me, eroding me into nothing. If I didn't come up for air, I soon would take the witch's offer. Cackling like a demon, I would place a curse on someone. I would kill them. Reviving her was a mistake I never should have made. And not for the greater good or anything so noble. No, every time she spoke, a little more of my spirit died. From that day on, Morgana's voice became a constant fixture in my life. Curse them, kill them, curse them. She serenaded directly into my ear. No matter where I hid or how deep I put my fingers in my ears, her voice resounded directly in my head. Hearing an incessant stream of curses from a disembodied voice was so unreal, so unbelievable that I felt as though I was being dragged away from the realm of humanity. There was an odd, unsettling magnetism in her voice, allowing her malevolence to seep into me, and it was downright torturous. Curse them. Revile them. Do you really need to be in your right mind, honestly? Do you really need to be in your right mind, honestly? Yeah, that's what I said. Your fixation on holding on to your sanity is what's causing you so much anguish. Admit it. There is more darkness, more seething malice inside you than anyone else. That is why you were the only one who resurrected me. Admit it. You do want to curse them, don't you? You do want to kill them, don't you? No, I don't. I don't want that at all. I've told you this already. You're so desperate to deny it, Michelle. It can only mean that it's true. You would be able to maintain your calm if you were truly free of guilt. I do not wish to kill Deidler or George or mother or father. I have no desire whatsoever to see them dead. Your constant babbling is messing with my head. Be honest with yourself, Michelle. You do imagine what it will be like to hold their warm intestines on your hands, standing over their bodies. Oh God. No, I don't. That's not what I want. Don't lie, Michelle. You climbed the tower, you opened the door. You sought me. No, I wasn't in control. No, Michelle, you were. Enough! I'm done listening to you. Now, don't take your anger out on inanimate objects, Michelle. Do you even know where I am? Where are you? I'm standing right behind you. In front of you. Now I'm beside you. That's just creepy. You're just playing around with me, Morgana. Stop mocking me for your own amusement. Not at all, my dear. In fact, I consider you a close friend. Why would I mock someone who means so much to me? We are not close. You will come to understand in time that we are very much the same. And when you do, you will also know that I am the one person who truly understands you. Enough, enough, enough. Let it all go, Michelle. Curse it all with me. Despise it, kill it, make it suffer, curse it. Please, you just stop. And where might you be going, Michelle? Wherever you run, I will always be by your side. Are you going to pray to God to exorcise me? Now that's quite amusing considering I am the child of God. Because I am not trying to hurt you, Michelle. On the contrary, stop talking. Please, just stop. I want to set you free from your misery. I can't take it anymore. Please just be quiet. Who's there? I'm here to deliver your monthly packages. Oh, it's been a month? I see. Michelle Lee. I keep calling the female version Michelle Lee just to differentiate. Is something the matter? I opened the door and there stood a servant of the Bulgarner's estate. He seemed to be quite perturbed by the sight of me. I must have looked terrible. Morgana's voice, her words, sapped my spirit dry. A human. Yes, that's a human, Michelle. A normal person, not a witch, or a spirit or a demon. I knew good and well that the servant would never do anything to help me. He wouldn't believe a word I said. But at that point, his humanity was enough for me to latch onto. Help me, please. Pardon? The witch, she talks to me. She never stops talking. I'm begging you, please get me out of here. Let me go back home in your carriage. Please, let me go back. The witch's voice is killing me. It won't go away. It won't go away. I can't escape it. Please, I need your help. You've gone mad. What? You're crazy. See, this is why I didn't want this job. Having to deliver supplies to this damn cursed mansion. Having to get anywhere near the Bulgarner's youngest child. No, I am perfectly sane. You probably don't look sane. You sold your soul to the devil. Don't think I'm in the dark about that. No, I did no such thing. You're completely insane. No, I'm done with this damn job. It's not worth all the riches in the world. Not if it means I have to be around a lunatic like you even... for even a minute. Why? Am I not crazy? I am perfectly sane. Well, wait, what did I say? I'm not crazy. I am perfectly sane. I'm not mad. Michelle, your mind is far, far from sound. I won't hear it. I am not mad, damn it. I am not insane. Can you just bring the laugh track back every time she laughs? Umineko did that. I won't hear it. The witch spent nearly every waking moment of every day at my side, talking and talking and talking, about how mean-spirited humans were, how ugly they were, an endless loop of vitriol, and she never seemed to tire of it either. Every single day, on and on and on. She also made a point of reminding me about myself, everything I was trying to get away from. But as much as I fought to ignore her, to not let the things she said in, she slipped past every wall I put up, her every word warping me. There was no escape. Curse them, revile them. Remember the things they did to you. Close your eyes and envision it. Remember the scorn in their eyes, the way their lips twist as they laugh. You need only curse them, and you can wipe those irrehensible smirks. Irrehensible, right? Out of existence. I'm serious. Please stop this, Morgana. Please stop talking to me. I'm begging you. I seriously can't take it anymore. Oh, now why would you say that, my dear? It's just the two of us in this gloomy old house. I don't see what's wrong with a little conversation. Your voice, everything you say, is eating away at me. I care for you, and everything I say is meant to help set you free. So I will continue saying it. You're allowed to hate the people who have wronged you. They don't deserve happiness. Someone who's always smiling for you is someone who's certain to betray you. Talking about Giselle. Someone who values themselves above all will not hesitate to put others' lives on the line. Someone who covets wealth and power will sacrifice his friends and family to obtain it. Is she referring to Jacob? I think each one of these is referring to, like, the men who have wronged her. Someone who's always smiling for you is someone who's certain to betray you. I think that's a meld. Someone who values themselves above all will not hesitate to put others' lives on the line. I think that's supposed to be Yuki Masa. And this is obviously, Jacob. These are the kinds of people you want to surround yourself with. Or it could be his family. I have told you repeatedly that I will not curse anyone. Why must you be so stubborn, my dear? I could ask you the same. Why won't you just leave me be? Because I can't stand to see you like this. With one word you could be free of your pain. Because you insist on shackling yourself to your idea of family, you're making yourself miserable. We are the same type of person, Michelle. The type who has the right to curse others. Regardless of what kind of childhood you had or how much hatred is instilled in you, Michelle, you are a cursed man named after an angel. You need to realize how twisted you are, and soon. I'm not twisted. Do you honestly still believe you're normal? Tell me, what's normal about someone who happily embraces a skeleton? Tell me, what's normal about someone who hacks away at a girl's face with a knife? Painting, but I... You are not normal, and I will repeat it as many times as I have to. You need to accept that. Why must you hold so tight to your sanity? If you would just let go, you wouldn't have to suffer. No one is going to come and save you, my dear. The only thing that can save you anymore is your loading. We are the same. I am nothing like you. I am not a witch. I am not cursed. I am human. I am a human. Man? Yes, a man. With that body. Yo, my dear friend. Let me tell you something you should be quite pleased to hear. Do you know what some say about people like you? Those who are neither male or female. They are like unto God. What? They're like unto God. Like unto God. Indeed. You should have been worshipped for your divinity, but instead your family cursed you. You are not human. From the second life was first bred into you, your fate was decided. No, you're wrong. If I really were wrong, you would not be here now. You should be back home with your family. Perhaps you would have a pretty little wife, living a normal life, a happy life together. But you have long since strayed from that path. It's well out of sight now. I have not. I am human. I am a person, a normal person, the youngest son of the Borgerner's estate. I am an ordinary man. No one, not a single person believed me. Not even the witch was willing to consider me human, never mind my family. The archangel, whose name I shared, looked down upon me. The witch tried to drag me into her world. My past constantly ate away at me. I have been imprisoned in this place for far too long. There was nothing I could do about my body. All of those things combined threatened to break me. I let out a scream and then stumbled out of the room in a frenzy. I had to get out of that place. It didn't matter anymore that I was forbidden from leaving the property. I just wanted all of it out of sight. If they wouldn't let me come home, then I would run away. It's all I could do. I wanted to get myself anywhere that might have even the tiniest bit of light to share with me. I was desperate. Yeah, just wait a while, Giselle's gonna come in. Someone, anyone, please, tell me I'm human. Oh, tell me I'm a man. Anyone, please, tell me I am not cursed. Oh, the blinding light. But when I opened the front door, searing light pierced my eyes. The world quickly went white. I couldn't see a thing and then, alright, you're albino, you can't really stand much light. My arm began to burn beneath the sunlight. What? Black smoke rose from the sizzling flesh. A sickening stench. Wait, whoa, what type of sunlight do you guys have? A sickening stench filled the air. That it burns your flesh? Excruciating pain quickly spread to the rest of my body. I understand that you're albino and you can't stand the sunlight, but it's like burning your flesh. What? Why am I... Water. I slammed the door shut, restoring darkness. Gasping and groaning, I trudged back into the house in search of water, which I'm sure the witch Morgana observed with a great deal of pity. I don't think you're in need of any water. Take another look at yourself. Yeah. With what little light managed to worm its way into the corridors to guide me, I dragged myself to the chapel, stopping beneath the pale light shining through the stained glass window. How it wasn't burned. In fact, my skin hadn't even turned the slightest bit pink. What? There was nothing wrong with me, as far as I could see. Was it an illusion? Where had that pain come from then? And the distinct stench of burning flesh. This is your doing, isn't it, Morgana? I know what you're experiencing. It's happened to me too. Sometimes enough emotional distress and despair can cause physical pain. The mind and body are much more tightly linked than you think. And your mind is far more damaged than you know. Used to calling him insane. You poor thing. He's not gonna like that. You have my sympathy, my dear. You're calling him insane. You sad little child. Collapsed on the floor in front of the multicolored window, I felt like the whole world was closing in on me. Or perhaps metamorphosizing around me. What? I was completely and utterly concerned, and there was no getting around it. Wait, what? I was completely and utterly cornered, and there was no getting around it. Which left me with only one option. To stop fighting and accept the harsh reality before me. It will make everything so much easier. The whole world said that there was something wrong with me, and I was the only one who tried to deny it. So in the world's eyes, that meant there was something wrong with me. I was abnormal. I was irregular. I was mad. I was cursed. I was not human. I was not a man. If I'm not human or male, maybe I should just call myself a witch. I did, however, remain firm in my refusal to curse anyone, unwilling to give up that last piece of my humanity. I remember everything else I let go of, which took a great deal of weight off of me. You guys remember when Giselle showed the scar that Antonin gave her, and how Michelle was willing to want to curse his father at that point? Well, That kind of tells you he was at his breaking point at that point. He was willing to actually kill his father to, um, for Giselle, to go against his own values. Damn. I stopped caring and I stopped thinking. I stopped wanting someone to accept me and I stopped wanting to run away. Sunlight no longer caused me agonizing. Wait, what? Sunlight no longer caused me agonizing unseen burns, but in exchange I became emotionally empty. I discarded my faith and my hope, building a shell of cynicism and closing myself within it. And in time, that became my normal. That became the shell that we saw when Giselle arrived. I began to believe it was what I wanted. Tranquility filled my days. Time trudged onward at an almost imperceivable pace. The witch's whispers no longer caused me aggravation. And that's it. Essentially, nothing of note happened over the next 2 years. At one point, a man with an unusual disease stumbled across the mansion while wandering through the forest. But there is little more to be said about that. For nothing at all could have convinced me to care about someone else. I spent so much of my time sitting before the fireplace. I had covered the stained glass windows with drapes, loath to even think about that damn archangel. Staring at the dancing flames, I was able to forget this passage of time. Watching, unblinking, as the red and orange tongues flicked back and forth. They seemed to spread outwards from the fireplace, consuming me. What? Rather by the raging infernos of hell or the cleansing fire of purgatory. The thought of being swallowed up and burned to ashes by a massive conflagration was quite pleasant. I know I pronounced that wrong. But those visions never became a reality. Tell me, Michelle, what are you thinking right now? Do you still not want to curse them? You're still on about that? Look at yourself, Michelle. Look how you're living. Do you really want this life? Have you ever thought about dying? Michelle, would you like to die? That's the right answer. He didn't say anything. God had said that taking one's own life is a sin, after all. That's good, Michelle. You've made the right decision. And I shall be there with you until the very end, my dear. My dear friend. Honestly, a part of me did desire death. I just didn't have enough energy to take my own life. My mind and spirit were too far decayed. Oh, here we go. However, in my 10th year, the door opened once more. I don't know if you can hear it in the recording, but this music, this OST, I believe, is named Giselle. And time spurred back into motion when you showed up. Giselle. I hope I pronounced her name right. I'm calling her Giselle. Everything I had given up on, and everything I had thought I lost, it all came back at first. As you know quite well, I was deeply mistrustful of you. Hated having you around, but if I hadn't met you, in all likelihood, I probably would have continued down that path and become a demon. Giselle, but he seemed like a rather handsome man. Oh, that meant a great deal to him, because he wasn't a man. I think I get what you're trying to say, but my mental image of a witch is definitely more of a woman. Oh. So you're not a witch. To tell you the truth, I didn't know who might be here, which had me rather scared. But I think I can make this work. It's a pleasure to meet you, Master. After taking care of Giselle, I returned to my room. I was, to be quite honest, dumbfounded. And it was naturally the witch who stoked the fire of my apprehension. Why would you let that woman stay here? She came from the Boganer's estate, and we both know how you feel about your family. Chase her out. Give her a little scare and she'll be gone within the day. If you rather not, I could always frighten her in your place. A rattling window here, a couple of broken glass there. Small things like that to accentuate the eerie atmosphere. Are you going to say anything? Why do you care about her at all? Oh, now don't be like that. I live here too, so why shouldn't I care? And I'm not fond of noisy people. Or sprightly women like that one. That's something we can both agree on, isn't it? You don't like that woman, do you? The more a person smiles, the less you can trust them. I thought I hardly have to tell you that, do I? Stop talking. Now, that's not very polite. This is a family matter. It's none of your concern. I was merely offering to help rid you of a pest. I don't need your help. I will get rid of that woman when I'm ready. But first, I will find out what secrets she's keeping. Then I will go back to living in peace. Very well then. That pest has no place in your sweet solitude. The world before you now is so much kinder, so much warmer than the one you used to know. Well, good luck then. And if you need a helping hand, don't hesitate to ask. Oh, and by the way, what now? You've changed, my dear. And I like you so much better like this. I always hated how much you reek of human. You were blessed with a body like unto God. You were personally created by His hands. I could only dream of having what you have, but you only wanted to deny it. Now though, you act the part much better. A saint resurrected by the closest living thing to God. Perhaps this too could be considered a miracle. Morgana. Yes. You are a deranged, delusional woman. Why, thank you. Wow. Giselle was a woman who smiled with a great deal. Her her jade eyes seemed to glimmer every time she made a new face. And the more she smiled, the more vibrantly she spoke, the more suspicious I become. I couldn't trust someone who smiled that much, especially not a woman. And the way she kept trying to get friendly with me didn't help that impression at all. I had a hard time believing she honestly wanted to get to know me. I couldn't help but think she was trying to fish for information. Anyone who tried to get close to me have Anyone who tried to get close to me had to have some ulterior motive, like Amy, who only done so to satisfy Mother. Perhaps my mistrust could have been considered paranoia, but even 10 years later, flashes of that nightmare will still come back to me from time to time. It would take more than a few attempts at being nice for me to trust this stranger. Eventually I came to the realization that she was hiding something, and I convinced myself it was out of guilt. So I wrote Mother in search of something I could use to tear her down and get her out of here. I should have listened to Giselle rather than Mother or the witch, but I had conflated her with Amy in my mind, so I was unable to see where the truth really lay. I was only able to perceive her as malicious. So instead of her, I put my faith into Mother's words, despite Mother never once doing the same for me. My beloved daughter, Michelle. Oh God. I deeply regret having to put you in this situation. I never wanted to let that woman anywhere near you. She's a witch. A terrible, sinful witch. Wait, hold on. I think this OST is called Giselle. A dreadful, tainted woman. She lay with my husband, with your father. She's a lowly merchant girl who wormed her way into our family, so she could exploit your father for money. She committed the grievous of sin, the sin of adultery. I tried to have her executed, but your father wouldn't allow it. So instead he had her banished to atone for her sins. Unaware that you already live here, you already lived there, and I could not tell him either, for that is mine and your brother's secret. I pray you can find it in your heart to forgive your mother for her failings. Forgive me for delivering a witch to you. I would not be surprised if she tried snooping around. She is a ruthless fiend who will do anything for money. Should word of your curse happen to spread, it will surely draw unwanted attention from the church. We have no allies except each other. Michelle. With this letter I have included a knife. The blade has been blessed with holy water. Oh, that's why he got a knife. Which should allow it to eradicate the corrupt evil soul of this witch. I ask of you, with all my heart, to send that awful creature back to hell. Yeah, that's where this scene came from. And you blindly put faith into that, seriously. It was storming that night. Erratic claps of thunder ripping through the sky. Giselle let out a panicked scream, shoving me back. And the look in her eyes emotions I had thought I'd lost. I knew that face. I knew that scream. Because that face has once been mine. I just scream with that same utter despair at the world. Back to the way things were. Yes, finally, it's quiet again. I'm honestly surprised you stayed as long as you did. In a way, her tendency is rather impressive. Not many would persist for so long in the face of such obvious disinterest. But you know no one would try to get friendly with you without a good reason. Information about you carries a considerable weight outside these walls. But the look on her face then, was that really her putting on an act because I revealed her scheming? If you think she was afraid of you, you're mistaken. That's how people behave when their sins are brought to light. She was screaming though. And she looked genuinely terrified when she knocked my hand away. You're not going to let a woman scream cloud your judgment, are you? A woman can make a weapon out of anything. Tears, a smile, fear. The day she arrived, you recognized her smile as fake. You surely aren't going to fall for this. Oh, you surely aren't gonna fall. I am not falling for anything, I just... feel like I know that frenzied panic. Something doesn't add up. Yes, nothing, my dear. In fact, what perplexes me is why you didn't simply kill her when you had the chance. Are you afraid of the sight of blood? The blood of your tormentors had no more word than that of a wild boar. You should have sliced her throat without a second thought. Although I suppose that would have made quite the mess. Now that makes more sense. You were not afraid of hurting her, but you merely didn't want the burden of having to clean up afterwards. How very like you. Be quiet. Oh, come on now. That woman is finally gone, and it's back to just the two of us. And you don't want to talk. Silence, please. Hehehe, as you wish. I will celebrate your accomplishment in silence, my dearest friend. I imagine she's out there, half buried in the cold earth by now. I get chills every time I consider where I would be if I had done as Mother said. If I had killed you. Or if, out there in the forest, you had succumbed to the unforgiving weather. Life had never given me much in the way of good fortune. But you coming back, you being alive, was absolutely a blessing. I am done. Oh, this is where she wanted to die. I can't take it. I'm through with this whole world. You don't have any idea what I went through there. How hard it was just to keep myself together. Giselle. I do understand. I know very well how difficult, how painful it can be. For no one to believe you. For no one to accept you. I know far too well. What's it like to want to scream that you're done with this whole damn world? I truly do. That day, for the first time, we saw past the surface. We got to know each other as people. It was nothing more than a single small step. But for us it was like we had moved a mountain. I still remember how the light felt. As it shone through the windows we opened together. It didn't burn. And while this might sound melodramatic, I feel safe in saying it was probably the gentlest light I have ever felt in my life. I hope for sake that I'm recording. I know I'm checking a lot of times, but I really don't want to reread this again, because it's not my first time doing this recording. Following my recollections with Giselle, I started turning back into my old self. Following my reconciliation with Giselle, I started turning back into my old self. Well, I suppose that's not quite correct. I felt a comfort and peace within myself that I never had before. That may have been the first time I was really human. Having someone else around began to feel normal. It was something I was certain I would never have. It was incredible. Though to someone else our time together may have seemed frivolous and empty, our conversations meaningless chatter. I've never thought the day would come when someone would laugh at something I said, when someone would smile at the sight of me. However trivial, seeing Giselle's smile made me happy. Oh darn it, what did you get off to? Are you here? Are you in the vase? Why would you be in the vase? What's with all the racket? Is something the matter? Ah, master. Yes, a cat. A cat. A naughty little cat has been sneaking into the cellar the past few days, so I'm trying to catch him. If you happen to come across him, don't let him get away. Right. And what will you do once you caught him? Well, I don't want to punish him. That would be mean. If he insists on coming back, I think I'll take him in and teach him how to be a house cat. You mean keep him? Are you not fond of cat, master? I have a dog. I don't mind them, no. Then there you have it. I hope he doesn't take too long to warm up to us. Maybe it'll help if you give him a name. Oh, a name, that's a great idea. What should we call him then? You decide, master. Oh, his second time picking a name. You want me to pick a name? This is your house after all. So, it's only right you would be the one to choose. I'm not sure I follow that reasoning. What does the cat look like? Well, he's wild, he's dirty, I guess. And he kinda got some spots here and there. Oh my god, he's gonna say the stupid name. Is he ugly? I'll say so, yeah. He's gonna say a stupid name. Alright then. Ugly Speckles Mark II. That's where that came from. Oh. Because he said that before, and we didn't know what it means. That's the name? Why on earth would you call it something like that? What does Mark II even mean? But be quiet. It's on you if he runs away, Master. My time with Giselle was made a normal person out of me. Made me able to tell stupid jokes, to get frustrated or surprised or exasperated. Yeah, that's right. I started showing actual emotions. Our silly, meaningless banter became something precious. My heart of stone began to soften. The world she created for me was what I had yearned for my whole life. Having lost half of it in prison and spent the other half playing in an identity. What? Having lost half of it imprisoned and spending the other half playing an identity that conflicted with how I feel in my heart. It was the first time I generally feel like I was allowed to be myself. Yeesh, you're not a kid, so don't be so picky. It's not good for you. You make a mockery of the culinary arts, yeah, I remember this. I heard quite enough, Master. It sounds like I'm going to need to put your taste bud through some intense rehabilitation. Yep. How about this, Master? Play a game. Oh. And of course, if you're open to it, it doesn't have to end there. We can continue getting to know each other for years to come. This is where his father died. Giselle. I thought I did my best not to show it. I think that I treasured our time together. Even more than you did. I latched onto it, desperately refusing to let go. I needed it. I needed you. And I needed you. Are you listening, Morgana? I can hear you just fine, my dear. Now what brings you all the way up here? You know you can call me from anywhere else in the house. Anywhere in the house. My bond to this tower has been broken. This is a conversation we can only have here. The place where we first met. It's time for us to part ways. My desires haven't changed since our first encounter. I wish to be a person. To be a man. Exactly. When I'm with Giselle, I am that. She makes me into the person I always wanted to be. And now you wish to be rid of me, so you can complete your descent into the realm of the unclean. I do. Haha, you came all the way up here just to tell me that. Needless formality. A needless formality. I'm sorry, Michelle, but we are kindred spirits, as much as you may want to deny it. You could be second only God, to only God, yet you spurn his gift. I am nothing like you. Wait, what? I am nothing like you. I am human, nothing more. I shall not condemn you for your unyielding resolve, but rather pity you for being so utterly blind. Allow me to make the prediction before I depart. a prediction before I depart, Michelle. Cursed namesake of an angel. You may think that you're making some sort of progress, but the fact of the matter is, you've gone nowhere. Will that smile of Giselle be able to withstand your secret? You know better than anyone that no one can accept what you are, not even her. You will never be with anyone. I understand that. No, Michelle, you don't understand. But you will soon enough. What you have now is not true happiness. It's empty, not but a masquerade. And when the night is over, all the mask will come off. So what if it isn't permanent, isn't real? Does being ephemeral, ephemeral, make it worthless? Why can I not want something that doesn't last forever? This is the first time I've ever found joy in life. Those moments of happiness only serve to worsen the loss. The sweeter the honey, the more you despair when the pot runs dry. Sooner or later you will return to me begging for my help in the tower area, and I have every intention of giving it to you. I will not hold this over you either, for when you come to me, it will be in the time of your utmost despair. And when your little paradise finally comes crumbling down, you will become what I am, a witch. So I will take my leave from your side in anticipation of that day. Until we meet again, my dear. Oh, hello, Master. I was just looking for you. I heated up some wine and thought you might. Is something the matter? No, I'm fine. Thank you. No, it's nothing. All I did was warm it over the fire. Are you sure nothing's the matter? I shouldn't be hearing the witch's voice anymore. So yes, I'm fine. Oh wow. That's wonderful news, Master. It is. Giselle seemed quite relieved that I informed her that the witch would no longer be bothering me. I knew she didn't believe in the witch, but that wasn't what mattered. What did matter was that, despite likely questioning my sanity when I had first told her about it, she hadn't tried to pull away. She treated me the same as before. She never stopped smiling, and that means so much more than whether or not she believed in the witch. With Morgana's voice no longer constantly in my ears, my life started to feel like some approximation of normal. In fact, I would say I was probably happier than most. Nevertheless, I intended to keep a certain degree of distance between us. For what the witch had said rang truer than I wanted to admit. You'll never be with anyone. Having been born into this body, that was my reality, and there was nothing I could do to change it. I had to come to accept that. Or so I thought. I wasn't going to covet what I couldn't have. but I gotten a taste of that sweet happiness. I had started to develop a great affection for that smile, and as much as I tried to tell myself I was just getting caught up in the moment, that the feelings would pass in time, I found myself unable to restrain the swelling of emotions within me. That day by the fireplace, I thought that all I wanted from you was friendship. To have you in my life always nearby. I thought that if we were simply friends, I would still be able to see that smile, even if you were to learn what I was. That if we were merely friends, you would be able to accept that. So I would keep these things I felt inside at all costs. However, with each passing day, with each gentle smile, my affection for you swelled. It reached a point where, as hard as I tried to keep it contained, all it would take was the slightest nudge for it to come spilling out. It made me desire, and it made me desire what was out of reach. I was convicted that I had changed. I was convinced I had changed. Because this happiness had become my everyday. I had no right to any such thing. But I came to wish that I could be the center of your life. I yearned for you, and I wanted you to yearn for me. And like the fool I am, I thought that with you, it might even be possible. The rose. Honestly, it's no trouble, I mean it. You just took me by surprise, that's all. I'm pleased. I am pleased. It doesn't matter how it turns out, you drew it from me, Master. Whether it's good or bad is irrelevant. I would. I wouldn't be happy. I would be happy with anything drawn from me by the man I love. That one word set me into motion, for I had long since fallen deeply, utterly in love with you, and there was no escaping that. Listen very carefully. I I love you. I love you so much I feel like my heart is going to explode. Nevertheless, there was also no escaping my past. What I was. Knowing I could never truly be with you. That I could do nothing about this body. I pushed you away. But seeing all the color drain from your face, I knew I had to take that step. I thought that maybe you could change my world. If you really did love me as much as you just said, together, we could change everything. We could walk a new path side by side. And so, I decided to trust my heart. I'm in heaven. I'm so happy I could cry. I too was elated. Giselle, I'm sure you thought I was a kind-hearted man, that my love for you was pure and chaste, and I wanted to be that for you. but beneath the surface lurk indecent desires. Despite saying that I didn't want to hurt you, that just having you by my side was enough, my desire bubbled up at the warmth of your flesh, of your skin. I wanted to let that heat take over, to let my hands run free. I could feel it burning inside me. I longed for intimacy, not just emotionally, but physically. I wish I could lay you down on my bed and satisfy those desires. I wanted to make love to you. Unfortunately, that was not possible. I didn't have the ability. No matter how hard I try, my body lacks the capability to be one with you. I can pray, I can long, and I can long, and I can wish for all I want. But my body will never be what I want it to be. I am gray. Okay. What? Though I have always known my true color, I have no way of becoming it. My heart has always known what I am, but the world refuses to accept it. Every time I claim I'm normal, 5 say I'm an abomination. Would it really have been too much to ask for me to be born normal? To let me be who I truly am? Is that really so much to ask? Things began to change when I learned of my father. Antonin had passed away. Oh, this happened. George will, I assume, be busy preparing to take his place. And if what he had said was true, then I would be welcomed back to the estate. I would no longer be a demon child, but a member of the Bolganers family once more. Deep down, though, I couldn't completely believe it. It would actually happen. After 11 years in exile, I had no idea how they felt about me anymore. Would they even remember a promise they had made so long ago? Fear that they wouldn't threaten to consume me. But wait, what? That made no sense. Fear that they wouldn't threaten to consume me, but Giselle, as often seemed to do, put my mind to ease. Okay. No matter where I go, you will always be with me, Michelle. It's true, I am nervous not knowing what the future holds. But not in a scared something bad might happen kind of way. It's more of a jittery, excited, anxious. I'm confident the two of us can overcome anything, no matter what obstacles may come in our way. Together we can create an even more wonderful future. Could I believe her? Could I have faith in her wonderful future? That she would always be there with me. That we would return to the estate and finally move on with our lives. That altogether we could create a future. No, that wasn't the question. I wanted to have faith. I wanted to believe as much as she did. I wanted to believe that even if I was gray, I could have a normal life with her. That she had rescued me from the depths of hell. And now I wanted to make her happy. After taking that step in our relationship, I made numerous attempts to reveal the truth about what I was. But every time I tried, sharp pain gripped my chest and my words faded into nothing before they could even reach my lips. I knew that if our relationship were to continue, I would have to tell her everything. Tell her eventually, but Merely imagining her face twisted in disgust nearly crushes me. She was everything to me. And so, as we prepared for our departure, I decided it was time to make some changes. It was time for me to break out of my root. And what happened next depended largely on whether Mother and my brothers were willing to accept me as a man. Of course my future took... Wait, what? Of course, the course my future took was in their hands, in their hearts. If they couldn't accept me, then I couldn't return home. I prayed from the bottom of my heart that things would turn out for the best. That my family would accept me for who I was, and that they would accept what I had with Giselle. I decided I would tell Giselle everything after I received their response, and I hoped dearly that she would join me, wherever I ended up. I couldn't provide Giselle with the same kind of happiness as a normal man could, but if she and my family accepted me, I would do anything I could to build a happy family with her, in my own way. And so, I sat down to write. Dear Mother, there is something I wish to tell you, something that means a great deal to me. So I ask of you, please hear me out. And I ask of you, please accept it. Mother, I no longer bear any resentment for my present lot in life. Nevertheless, I would ask of you to concede one thing, that I was never cursed, that I was always your son, that I am Michelle, not Michelle Lee. I've found someone whom I care for dearly, a woman, and I love her with all my heart. I would like to spend the rest of my life with her. I do not wish for much, simply to have a quiet life with her. To go through our days together, man and woman. That is the one thing I want. Mother, I know you're aware that my body is no longer female. I am a man. My heart is male. And I ask of you to please accept that. I have no grudge with you. In fact, I'm incredibly grateful to you for bringing me into this world with love, your dearest son. But rather than a reply, I receive a visit from the Knights of the Holy Church. From the Knights ordered to kill me. Yep. Michelle, tell me, why do you think this is your fault? What is your curse? Your curse. It isn't just the color of your hair and eyes, isn't it? There's something more to it, isn't there? There's something else, isn't there? Can you hear me, Morgana? Morgana, please say something. Morgana! Your predictions, they were right. I was a fool, and you can laugh at me all you want. So please say something. Death. Death to the unholy one. Death to the heretic. Death to the witch. Why won't you answer me, Morgana? Why can I not feel you there beside me? You said you would help me when I came for it. Well, here I am, begging for your help. Please, come back to me just this once. I know you're there somewhere. Please, before they break down the door. Michelle, I'm alright. It's okay, Michelle. I'm not scared. You're here with me after all. I'm fine. It's all fine. So please hold me until it's all over. Please stay with me. Michelle, my dear, why would you ever believe that fairy tale nonsense? Why would you ever think a wonderful future awaited you? Morgana. Here you are now, wretchful. Here you are now, wretched, pitiful. For that you have my sympathy, so I will help you in your time of need. Ah, finally you speak. Michelle, I can feel despair emanating from you. You hate it. It kills you. This is how you were rewarded. For fighting to be yourself. You know exactly who sent those knights, don't you? They rejected you. Rejected what you are. Hey, Michelle, are you alright? Your family, unable to accept your body and heart, branded you a heretic and turned you over to the church. Yes, they did. And did you hear what the knights were saying? They even accused you of being a witch. Wait, what? Taken my sins and placed them on you. Come back to me, Michelle. You hate them, don't you? You want to curse them, don't you? You want to kill them, don't you? I shall grant you your wish. Out of your hatred and despair, I shall make my own wish. And that wish shall become a curse upon your family's wicked souls. You will grant my wish then, Morgana. Yes, absolutely. Tell me what it is you want, my poor little darling. Michelle, let your contempt flow free. Give me the names of those you want to curse. I want you to protect her. Damn. Excuse me. If they find her, she could be accused of abating with the witch and executed as well. So please use your power to keep herself safe. You said you would grant my wish, did you not? That's not the wish I was hoping for. I know, but that's the wish I want you to grant. Morgana, then offer me something in return. Such a disappointing wish will require a sacrifice. Step beyond that door, my dear, and witness ultimate despair. That was my plan anyways. So long as I am considered a heretic and marked for death, my being alive put Giselle in danger. Indeed it does. And yet you are shaking like a scared little child. Of course I'm scared. There isn't a single person who doesn't fear death. Please keep her safe. You're the only one who can help me, Morgana. You have my word. From this moment I vow to protect her life. Thank you. Giselle. Please hear me out, Giselle. I never thought anything good would become of my life. Never thought I would find anyone who truly understood me, who would be happy to have my love. And for that, I hated the world. I was in constant torment living in the shadows. But then a single ray of light shone down on me. Michelle, you, Giselle. You delivered me from the darkness. I'm scared, Giselle. I am terrified. I used to think my life was meaningless. That it didn't matter if I lived or died. But now I can't stop shaking. That's perfectly normal. I'm scared of that too, but what scares me most is losing you, Michelle. So please allow me to repay you. I said I would do anything for you, so let me do this. I haven't given you anything, I haven't done anything for you. So give me one final chance. Michelle! What are you doing? Get back in here, Michelle. Why the door? I can't open it. Michelle, what did you do to the door? Come on, get back in there. Yep, it's the same thing being repeated. I guess you really can perform miracles, Morgana. I don't want to lose you either. I know that. By doing this I will bring you pain, Giselle. But I can't make you happy no matter how hard I try. And I realize that now. Say something, Michelle. You're out there, aren't you? Please, don't do anything rash. They're going to kill you if you're out there. Giselle the witch told me. What? That she would ensure your safety. Michelle, she isn't real. There's no witch talking to you. It's all in your head. A figment of your imagination created to alleviate your loneliness. Rest assured she does not lie. Michelle, I pray that someday she'll be able to get past this and move on with her life. She needs to know that's what I want. I have to find out the right words. I'm pathetic. My voice is so shaky. Please listen. You are a wonderful woman, Giselle. Spirited, true to yourself, deeply sympathetic. You are not to blame for how difficult your life has been. Most of the fault lies with me, and a bit of my bad fortune. But that's all behind you. That's all behind you now. Once this is over, you can start anew. What are you talking about? So survive, live a good fulfilling life. Move past this, live your life, and always love your family. I know you can do it. That is my wish for you. No, I don't want that. I want to be with you. No one else with you. I don't want to let you die. There it is. Death to the heretic. Death to the hero. Good lord. Good lord. They could get back here, Michelle. The doors. Open the door. If my choice is to live on without you, I'd rather yeah. Your scars will heal. You'll find a nice man and have a wonderful family. Why? Because you have a good family. You have a mother and sister who loves you. If you were to be executed here with me, you would be marked as a heretic as well, and your family would be condemned. I don't want anyone else to suffer that kind of disgrace. But I can't tell you any of that, because I don't want you looking into why I'm a heretic. So this is where we part ways, Giselle. Thank you, Giselle, for bringing light into my world. Don't say that. The year we shared together, the months since our relationship blossomed, had been the brightest days of my life. But if there is a next life, I hope you don't mind if I pray that we'll be able to meet again. And this time, that we can find each other once more, in another world, in a body that better suits me. Michelle. I had thought I was prepared, that I was doing something good, something that I could be proud of, that I would give my life for her with head held high. But it wasn't long before I realized what the witch had meant. What she had warned me about, when she had said the ultimate despair waited beyond this door. It's our holy duty as knights of the church to deliver punishment unto the heathen who has made a pact with the devil. You are sentenced to death, your body to be hanged upon the cross for 3 days and 3 nights, wherein your unholy flesh shall be purified by the fires of heaven. Why, what are you doing here? I stared up at the night, wide Eyes wide. Is that Daedalus? It's Daedalus. For the voice, the for the voice from within the helm, Daedalus, belong to my elder brother. You shall now be executed. Uh, do you have any final words? I knew well enough that Mother was not in her right mind, and while her refusal to accept me had hurt, at the same time I had somewhat expected it. It made sense to me that in her madness Mother had declared me a heretic and reported me to the church. But Daedalus. Men wield swords and fight against dangerous enemies, and they do so to protect the weak, women and children. I am here to protect you and your mother. What are you doing here? Why are you pointing your sword at me? Are you smiling behind that cold steel helm, frowning, or staring expressionlessly? Though your transformation was too much for Mother and Father to accept, with enough time everything will go back to the way it was before, just like it did for myself and George. None of this is your fault. It was all an unfortunate timing. You said that it will all go back to normal eventually. Can I trust that even if the whole world says I'm cursed, that you will always be on my side, that you will always be my brothers? Can I put my trust into you once more, Daedalus and George? You absolutely can, Michelle. I swear to God on high. Did your vow have any meaning at all? I spent years here in the dark house waiting, believing you would come true for me. So why are you standing there, a half a dozen knights at your back, saying I am to be executed? Why? The Daedalus. Do not cry. Don't you dare cry, Michelle. You're standing here in front of the door as a man protecting the woman he loves. So you mustn't cry. Who is it you're sentencing to death? Michelle Bogener, or a demon child naturally? Or a witch, perhaps. But why? If I'm not an angel sent from heaven, or a demon child, then what am I? What on earth am I? What are you? You're a Bogener. You're our family. And that's all there is to it. I thought we were brothers. Our familial bonds have long been severed, cursed witch. Now I see, Giselle. This world never had a place for me. I was never welcome here. Kill him. Yeah. So many blades pierced my flesh. Daedalus' sword in my chest, lances in my arms and shoulders, arrows and bow to my legs. I could hardly even tell what hurt anymore. But the pain from within was much clearer. My heart crackled audibly before shattering completely. Don't cry. Do not cry. Tears will only make me more pitiful. So don't you cry, Michelle. Don't cry. I believed in you. Daedalus. When I was younger, I idolized you. Those broad shoulders, muscular arms, gentle eyes, everything you said. your simple but pure desire to become a knight. I thought if I could be like you, then I could be proud of who I was. Though that may have faded somewhat after being locked away for so long, my adoration for you never went away. I thought of everyone would accept me for who I am, and I thought you would celebrate my relationship with Giselle, that you would put those big hands on my shoulders, a smile on your face, and say, I'm happy for you. That you would welcome her into the family, that we could go on outings together on cloudy days. And maybe she can make something for us. She's a pretty good cook after all. George would rifle through the baskets before lunch, and Daedalus would scold him. I would be there watching, a proud smile on my face. As unlikely, as out of reach as I knew it was, I still dreamed of a life like that. I had the faintest hope that when we saw each other again, that dream might come true. Daedalus, I put my faith in you. Oh. And so my life came to an end. But that wasn't the end of the story. I don't know if what comes next could be called my story, but memories of these events linger in my soul. After being pierced by Daedalus' blade, I found myself looking down on my own corpse. How could I ever imagine that I will be made to witness my own misery even in death? A watch of my eldest brother dragged me to the place of my crucifixion, and my soul, evidently still bound to my flesh, was dragged along with it, against my will, down to the nearby village. Oh God. The knights. The knights have returned from their holy quest. Oh, how we waited for your arrival. How glorious it is to see you. Waiting for us there was a cluster of villagers. A large cross lay on the ground in the center of the square. Holding torches, they formed a crowd around the knights, several of them familiar faces. The men who had come to ransack the mansions were standing there, staring at my body in awe. Amenity! Oh, you prick. Ah, the Lord's judgment has been delivered unto the witch of the cursed mansion by his holy servants. No longer shall we live in fear of the curse befalling us. Eternal peace is assured. We have assembled all the tools you need to execute your divine mission. A cross befitting of such a heinous sinner. That which threatened to curse us sullified our pure ears with its blasphemy. I had done no such thing. I hadn't cursed anyone. I had merely been defending myself. They had been armed and outnumbered me. So I said what was necessary to chase them off. Our poor harvests that were suffering at the hands of the greedy Lord were all the work of the witch. Why then were they acting like I was at fault? Why was I the sinner, and why did I need to be judged? My soul trembled at the overwhelming fever consuming the crowd. Their zealous desire to see judgment cast. So I prayed. I asked God to grant me the smallest of miracles, to let my voice reach my brother who carried my body. Please don't do this, Daedalus. Please hear my voice. You know me better than that. You know I've done nothing wrong. Those men smirking at the sight of my body, they're the ones putting the blame for the sins on me. Please tell me you, at least, don't think I did those things. Don't put me on that cross. If it was Mother who sold me out to the church, then surely you can give me a respectable burial. The nails and ropes for the crucifixions are here. We should have you, O knight, deliver the Lord's judgment unto this vile witch. Daedalus, why do you say nothing? Why do you accept the tools this man presents you? Tools meant to punish me. Tell me, Daedalus. Crucifixion. Crucify it. Crucify the witch. My brother lowered my corpse to the ground and began removing my clothing. And in that very moment I realized the purpose of hanging someone from a cross. Overwhelmed by hopelessness, tears streamed down my eyes. My face. What? Please, anything but that, I'm begging you. Don't expose me to these people. Don't expose my body, Daedalus. I'm begging you. Don't do it. But of course my voice had no way of reaching him. He had proceeded to remove my clothing piece by piece, until I was left fully nude. For a brief moment an unpleasant silence spread through the crowd. The erratic cackling of their torches was the only sound that could be heard in the square. And then, with mocking laugh, one man spoke. So there it is, the devilish creature. Don't look at me, please, look away. Or just get it over with and burn me now. Burn my body, please. One simple thing was all I was missing. I had a frame like a man. I lacked the breast of a woman. My heart was male. I was in love with a woman. You sold your soul to the devil, and this is what you became. This frightful, irreprehensible creature. You dare to defile the sacred body God blessed you with. With that, what people really thought of me. Was that what people really thought of me? There was no way to make them understand. They could not possibly imagine how miserable it was to live in a body that didn't fit the shape of your soul. Was there no way to get through to them, even the slightest bit, that all I wanted was to be what I felt I was? Was that really so heinous of a crime? Please, Daedalus, stop this. Don't humiliate me any further. Please just let me depart this world in peace. Carry my body away from this place. That's all I ask. And if you can't do that, then at least burn me instead. Daedalus. Daedalus. He then placed my body upon the cross, bound my arms together at the wrist with a rope, and then drove a nail through my palms? No, crucifixions, you drive the nail through the wrist. You don't drive it through the palms. Because if you drive it through the palms, it's just gonna tear through the flesh and you'll fall off. I couldn't look away. I tried to close my eyes, but I couldn't. My vision remained perfectly clear despite the constant stream of tears. When he was finished attaching my body to the cross, he and several other knights lifted it off the ground, planting it in the center of the village square. The villagers showered the knights with their praise and gratitude. Not for the lack of trying, I was unable to get away from the cross. My soul was trapped there along with my body. Daedalus didn't say a word the entire time. After a full day hanging there, grotesque blackish spots, blotches, began appearing on my lower body. Everyone who saw the grimace grimace in disgust. The knights Diddler included had long since taken their leave, leaving my soul behind, curled up at the base of the cross. A constant stream of tears ran down my face. Despite all my prayers, I remained bound to that place, left to rot on the cross with my body. Passers-by threw rocks, spat on me. Children laughed. A mother warned her daughter to always obey God's teachings. By the 48 hours, black-feathered birds and maggots have appeared to devour my rotting flesh. I couldn't imagine any less pleasant of a sight than my own body decaying in the sunlight, exposed for all to see. A group of children assembled in the square not far from the cross soon after. A competition began to see who could take down the evil witch. They gathered all the rocks they could find and started throwing them at my corpse as hard as they could. The stone ripped through my decomposing flesh, exposing bits of bone. Eventually they settled on a winner, the one who had torn off the most flesh, and went on their way. And when they were gone, the birds flocked in to take their place. The third day and night came and went, and at sunrise on the fourth day I received a visitor. "Watch your step, madam." "A priest. The crucifix is this way." After everything I had been through, I thought nothing more could possibly affect me. I had sunk as far down into the abyss as I could go. However, Mother. I knew it was her instantly. She was older and bonier than I remembered. She had bags under her eyes so dark they looked like bruises. Her once lustrous blonde hair had faded almost white. But I would always recognize my own mother. "What are you doing here, Mother?" Lightly. Light-eye. Whatever. "Father." In the 13 years I had last heard Mother's voice, it had grown raspy and weak, but there were still distinct traces in it of the woman who had raised me, who had stayed by my bedside when I was sick. Though I lacked a physical body, I still felt a deep piercing chill at the sound of her voice. "Father, this is not my daughter. I did not birth such a accursed thing. No, 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 I am her victim. For years I suffered at the hands of this witch. She stole my daughter away from me, tormenting me endlessly, tormenting me, trying to ruin me. A demon, you are a demon. Mother, I despise you, you foul, hellish monster. I loved you. You took everything from me. I could never bring myself to hate my birth mother. I feel nothing but revulsion for you. I loved you. An eternity in the fires of hell would be too good for you. I often disagreed with the things you said and did, but I still remember the feeling of your hand in mine as I lay sick in bed. I have absolutely no relation to this demon. I kept writing you letters, kept pretending to be a girl for you, because I didn't want to hurt you. This is not my daughter. I couldn't stand doing it. Whenever I sat down to write one, I came out a horrible wreck, even worse off than before. But even so, send this monster straight to hell. I didn't want to break you, Mother. I didn't want to push you any further off the edge. Quickly, Set me free of this accursed thing. But I suppose I still did end up breaking you. Please, be at ease, madam. The Lord has heard your prayers. He wants you to cast the demon into the cleansing fires. He wants you to show him that as you say, you have no relation to the unholy troll. To this unholy troll. Gladly, gladly. I gladly send this vile creature to the deepest pits of hell with my own 2 hands. Her eyes swirling with every hateful emotion imaginable. Mother took the torch from the priest and tossed it into the pile of straws spread out around the base of the cross. The flame crackled as it spread upwards, consuming my body and filling the square with putrid stench of burning flesh. Through the cloud of smoke, I could see the faint smile on my mother's lips. Mother, I'm so sorry. You have to give birth to me. When the inferno had devoured everything, and the cross itself came crumbling down, my soul was finally released from that place. Or rather, I suppose more shattered. The things I saw, the things I was made to watch, were harrowing. Morgana had been right. The anguish that came after knowing happiness was much greater than anything I had felt before. It eroded my spirit, drained me of the willpower to bear the sight of the world after death. But rather than give in to hatred like Morgana had, I despaired of myself. I didn't curse or bear grudges against anyone. I prayed for my own extinguishment. My soul began to crumble, neither ascending to heaven nor falling to hell, but fading into darkness everlasting. My fingers were the first to go, then my eyes, then my mouth. All songs vanished into nothingness. My beating heart, and all the emotions that I had once taken root within it, scattered like leaves upon the wind. My soul completely, wholly decomposed. I couldn't stand to allow my soul to return to the living world, no matter what it might take residence in. Some length of time later, I began to hear a sound, muffled and distinct. No longer in human forms, I had no ears to speak of. I'm gonna end it here, because I think this recording is already too long.